Good afternoon and welcome to Take 30 News. The popular social media app TikTok, developed by the Chinese company ByteDance, has been making headlines not once but twice this week, from a potential purchase to an all-out ban of the app. Take 30 News' reporter Miles Conrad brings us our top story.
It's kind of upsetting because there's a lot of funny stuff on there and it's fun to watch and I'm bored.
Earlier this week, Oracle announced they were pursuing a deal with TikTok. They became the front runners, passing Walmart and Microsoft. President Trump decided not to sign off on the bill just yet.
President Trump in recent weeks has made it clear that he wants an American company to buy TikTok to be sure it can remain legal in the United States.
This feud has been building for months between Trump and the TikTok app.
But just this morning, Friday, September 18th, it was announced that TikTok is now going to be fully banned beginning this Sunday.
Details were released about the ban starting this Sunday, September 20th. After September 20th, new downloads of the app will not be allowed, and no updates to the app will happen. November 12th, an all-out ban of the app in the U.S. will take place if a deal is not finalized and approved by President Trump. If TikTok is downloaded on a device after that day, a penalty of up to 20 years in federal prison is in order. The WeChat app is also being banned in the U.S. For a lot of college students, TikTok is a getaway, especially during COVID-19. Some are even making careers out of posting to the app. There are other options for similar entertainment like Instagram's Reels, but most TikTok users think it takes a back seat.
Well, currently most of Instagram Reels are just TikToks that have been recorded, but I don't know. We'll see.
Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross gave more information on the ban.
Improved apps, updated apps, upgraded apps, or maintenance. So if that were to continue over a long period of time, there might be a gradual degradation of services. But the basic TikTok will stay intact until November 12th.
For TikTokers, the only hope is for Oracle to come to a deal with the president. Otherwise, the dances and cute dog videos will be put to an end.
With it being the peak of hurricane season, there are many storms to prepare for. On Wednesday, Hurricane Sally made its way to shore.
This week, meteorologists were forecasting Hurricane Sally to hit the Gulf of Mississippi and the Louisiana area and encouraged everyone to evacuate. Sally decided to take a turn and ended up hitting the Gulf Coast of Alabama and the Panhandle of Florida instead. Many people on the coast of Mississippi still prepared for Sally to hit them, even though she ended up only bringing a few rain showers. Biloxi native Allison Hilton's family took extra precaution just in case.
We live on the river, so there's a boat lift in our backyard, and to prepare for the storm, they took them out and got them on the trailers and put somewhere where they wouldn't drift away once the river waters rose.
The Category 2 hurricane dumped nearly 30 inches of rain on Florida. Hundreds of people near the Florida-Alabama border were being rescued from the floodwaters that Sally brought in. More than 500,000 people in Florida and Alabama lost their power due to the hurricane. In Orange Beach, Alabama, at least a foot of water flowed along the outside walls of tourist shops, causing the beach to close down for visitors over the next 10 days. Kinesiology major and Gulf Shores resident Bailey Chambliss is hesitant about returning home.
Got some pictures this morning, and all of our bars and restaurants are flooded. The boats are tipped over. It's really sad. I'm not looking forward to going back and seeing how everything is destroyed, but hopefully it'll build back up and be ready for next summer.
Hurricane Sally won't be the last hurricane to hit shore, so stay prepared and be safe. I'm Audrey Riley with Take 30 News.
Hurricane Sally is one of the 6 hurricanes to make landfall this year. With the formation of Tropical Storm Wilfred, meteorologists have run out of the pre-selected names for the 2020 hurricane season. Any future storms will be named using the Greek alphabet. This is just the 3rd time all 21 names were used. The last, 2005, with Hurricanes Katrina, Rita, Stan, and Wilma. The other time was 1933. The wildfires have raged another week in California and Oregon and have cost 3 states at least $1 billion in damages in the month of August. In California, a firefighter lost his life in a fire, bringing the total deaths to 26. The firefighters are making significant progress despite the setbacks. There are a lot of conspiracy theories about the COVID-19. Take 30's Hannah Vandy checks in with a few college students about their thoughts on a few different COVID-19 theories.
According to a poll by TheHill.com, many Americans believe conspiracy theories about how COVID-19 was created, and some Americans even believe one conspiracy theory based on the vaccine and implanting tracking devices. The poll found that 1 in 7, or 73% of GOP voters, were open to the idea that COVID-19 was created in a lab. 54% of independents and 44% of Democrats were also open to the idea.
I'm on the campus of Mississippi State University to see what college students really believe.
I do not believe that COVID-19 was created in a lab. I've heard about that on the news, and I think it's honestly pretty funny that people come up with these ideas.
Do I believe COVID-19 was created in a lab? Not at all.
Was COVID-19 created in a lab? That's quite the question. No, I don't. I haven't done as much research as maybe I should have on it.
Another question that TheHill.com asked people was whether or not that they believe that the COVID-19 vaccine will include a tracking device to track Americans.
Absolutely not. That's silly. Okay, that's quite the question.
Again, that's another question I believe is just kind of made to start dividing people. I don't think that a vaccine for COVID-19 is going to be used to track us.
Reporting for Take 30 News, I'm Hannah Vandy.
Though many people believe that COVID-19 was created in a lab, TheHill.com states that a little over 25% of people believe that COVID-19 vaccines will include a tracking device. After the break, find out about the county-wide curfew and how it may affect you.
Others, vertebral and spinal conditions. And as rewarding as our work often is, it can be frustrating at times. That's because brain and nervous system conditions are difficult to diagnose and treat, especially when they affect patients who can't talk. A while back, we saw a chance to start something special here, introducing innovative imaging to better understand brain and spinal cord diseases in cats and dogs. Having that type of information makes a substantial difference when developing treatment and surgical plans. It also aids in personalizing the rehabilitation process. The toughest part of our job comes when our patients are well enough to go home. As thrilled as we are to see them walk again, a big piece of our heart goes out the door when they leave.
With the increase of parties and large gatherings, a curfew has been put in place in Oktibbeha County. On September 8th, Oktibbeha County supervisors voted to enact a curfew. Many within the city and county believe that this stemmed from the influx of people going out on the weekends in the Cotton District. There has been some confusion on who the curfew was for. While talking to County Supervisor for District 2, there was clarity brought to a confusing situation.
It's going to be pertaining to the county. Now, it would be nice if the city and county was doing something kind of cohesively, but at the same time, we don't have the jurisdiction to and really don't have the manpower to enforce it within the city.
The curfew has been extended to October 4th and is in effect from midnight to 4 a.m. In a recent board meeting, Starkville city officials discontinued recycling programs. This change comes from the cost to transport recycled materials rises. Effective October 1st, 2020, Starkville residents will no longer see an additional $2 charge on their garbage bills. Sanitation and Environmental Services Director Calvin Ware chose not to comment and directed all questions to the mayor through the programs. Though the programs were suspended indefinitely, the city will consider other options for recycling. Mississippi State University Fall 2020 theater season is finally here, with exciting outdoor venues for family and friends to come and enjoy student-produced performances. And for the very first time, Theater MSU is bringing their show to you.
MSU Theater Program hosted the Commedia Robin Hood by Lane Riosley on Thursday night at the MSU Amphitheater. The show was funded by the Lorena J. Rocky Smith Endowment for the Performing Arts.
Coming into this year on top of COVID, I really didn't think we were going to be able to actually do like any shows. I thought it would be more like hands-on workshop for the theater students. So just being able to like actually put a show out and like this quickly has been like super fun.
However, due to COVID-19, many creative aspects of this fall 2020 Theater MSU season has transpired, such as how shows will be presented.
So COVID has definitely put not a halt to our theater because we are still creating theater, but it's definitely put rules and put some obstacles in our way. Just for instance, like with this show, we have to be fully masked and like all the blocking in the show has to be like 6 feet away. So that's been kind of challenging, but the challenges have actually like allowed us to be more creative.
Creative is right. The MSU Theater Program will be taking their shows on the road in aspiration to this.
So actually, commedia is a stylized version of theater, and it originated in like 15th century Italy, and they were actually traveling troops of actors, so we thought, why not us too? And we took it on the road.
Additional shows include a 2 p.m. performance on September 19th at J.L. King Park and a 2 p.m. performance on September 20th at McKee Park here in Starkville. For Take 30 News, I'm Erin Shadooks.
For more information about upcoming shows and events presented by Theater MSU, visit MSU's Department of Communications website at www.com.msstate.edu/theatermsu. Also, follow their social media accounts at MSU Theater. Coming up, find out how a career fair is being held during the pandemic and how some college students got help from some four-legged friends.
The sense of place. We all have it. Often grown from deep roots in small-town communities. At Mississippi State University, our Carl Small Town Center is strengthening these ties. With nearly 40 years of making a difference, we're revitalizing communities into welcoming places to work, live, and congregate. By weaving together the best pieces of our past with modern technology and amenities, we're creating the hometowns of the future. Places where lifetime memories can be made, where you have all the things you need, along with all the things you want. Through partnerships with our communities, we're identifying improvement opportunities, recommending paths forward, and creating the plans for a better tomorrow. Have you ever thought about what it would take to eliminate one of the most dreaded illnesses of the year? At Mississippi State University, we're dreaming big, fast on the heels of scientific discoveries that will lead to the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of flu and other illnesses. For researchers, the biggest challenge is keeping pace with viruses that are constantly evolving to become more contagious. But at Mississippi State, we have the upper hand. Our scientists are working with teams around the world to predict when and where new viruses will emerge, combining forces to create flu vaccines before epidemics actually hit. That's because, as a premier research university, we believe it is our responsibility to help improve the lives of those around us. And we're working hard to help create a world where the flu is something children will one day read about in history books.
Welcome back. With the COVID-19 pandemic still in full effect, a campus service has had to make changes so they can still meet students' needs. Closet and pantry on the MSU campus opened in January of 2020, just months prior to the COVID-19 pandemic and global shutdown. BCP was open to help students with food insecurity needs. Despite having to make changes because of the pandemic, PCB is still helping students with their needs.
Started with the hope of helping students who are food insecure. So we are an on-campus closet and pantry, and any student with an active MSU schedule can come to the pantry and receive a food bag once a week, and they can receive clothes twice a month.
Classes began for the fall semester. The Closet and Pantry created new guidelines for students so that they could still have a pleasant shopping experience despite having to follow COVID-19 guidelines.
To get started, we transitioned to the curbside and inside shopping experience. So we're inside shopping Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, but a student has to sign up for a 15-minute shopping time on GivePulse. So only one student can be in BCP at a time to remain socially distant.
Despite having to make accommodations for new guidelines, the BCP states that they have had no issues with a decline in the number of students using their service.
March, we saw a lot of students, and we've seen steadily a lot of students since school started. We probably have 10 to 15 students every day. So I would say it's been steady.
Bully's Closet and Pantry is located at 120 Morgan Avenue with shopping and curbside pickup Monday through Friday. With Election Day coming up in November, the question of whether or not to mail in your vote is becoming a bigger and bigger discussion. Take 30's John Michael Phillips has the story.
Expert in it, but I think mail-in voting is probably the right way to go just with health risk. I wouldn't want my grandmother to go to the polls, even though she would want to.
Mail-in voting is not a new process, but with the presidential election nearing and a pandemic still affecting everyone in America, it is becoming a hotter topic.
Personally, I feel that mail-in voting is very important, not only for this election, but just in general. This election is going to be a lot more focused towards mail-in voting due to the pandemic. Polling places will have less availability to be bunched together within a single polling place. So more people will need to rely on mail-in voting to protect themselves from COVID-19.
With safety taking center stage, there still is a looming issue that more mail-in voting could lead to potential fraud in the election.
A lot of people are using the excuse for mail-in voting to be easily fraudulent. But there are also a lot of factors in play that make this election year needed to have a higher support for mail-in voting, simply due to sickness and the fears based off of COVID-19.
There is safety to mail-in voting, as well as there is a potential for fraud. I believe that there always will be a potential for fraud, whether it's mail-in voting or not. And I believe that with mail-in voting, we not only enable older citizens to feel more comfortable with the voting process, but we also ourselves are at a greater safety level. And I think at this current point, our lives matter more than the potential of there being fraud.
The deadline to register to vote both in person and by mail is October 5th. There is no deadline for requesting an absentee ballot. I am John Michael Phillips. This is Take 30 News.
For more information on voting in Mississippi, go to sos.ms.gov/vote. Looking for a job upon graduation? Due to COVID-19, Mississippi State won't be able to host its annual career fair in its usual location, the Humphrey Coliseum. Instead, this year, the career fair will be held virtually starting Monday, September 21st through Friday, September 25th, from noon to 5 p.m. Colleges will be assigned to particular days of the week. Representatives will be present, such as the Memphis Police Department, DCH Health System, and the U.S. Navy. For more information, log into your Connections account through My State Portal. MSU Construction has a parking lot out of commission. A temporary parking lot closure has been put into effect from Friday, September 18th, starting at 6 a.m. to Monday, September 21st, due to the removal of concrete and installation. the parking lot off Darden Street behind Montgomery Hall. Signed over 200 years ago, the Constitution remains prevalent till this day. Each year, MSU makes it a priority to reach out to students and raise awareness of the construction and Constitution and what it provides for them as citizens. Training and Compliance Coordinator Kim Reeves explained the details of MSU's annual Constitution Day informational.
The signing of our Constitution on September 17th each year. It was actually signed back in 1787, and it's a federal requirement for any schools that deal with Title IV student aid. So we want to make students aware of what Constitution Day is, and we have several handouts for them to come by and pick up.
Handouts include questionnaires, word searches, and word finds, all of which can be found on MSU's financial aid website. There are 2 books provided for students to flip through for further information about the Constitution as well. Each year, there will be a mass email sent to all enrolled students about the location and time of Constitution Day informational. Little Calves at the campus at MSU's campus led Take 30's Hannah Vandy to find out more information about what the educational department is doing to enlighten their students.
What we're going to do, one of the things I do with a lot of little kids is I teach them the milkman's handshake. All right, so what I need you to do is I need you to put your fingers together, put your thumb straight down. Now, what your job is to shake your hands. The key to it is you have to make the sound. Squirt, 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 squirt.
Every fall semester for the last couple of years, Dr. Stephanie Lemley has worked with Dr. Amanda Stone in Animal and Dairy Sciences on agricultural literacy experiences for elementary educational undergraduate students at Mississippi State University.
Part of this experience, I wanted them to get up close and personal with a calf or a few calves from the dairy. Because typically in the fall we visit the dairy, they get a tour, they learn about what occurs there.
The students in this class are seniors. The goal is so that they have material to use in the classroom after they graduate. They have to create an ABC book on research topics of their choice in agriculture.
It's the Mississippi College and Career Readiness Standards. There's a section on life science in each of the grades K through 5. And so it's really nice to bring in agriculture experiences to help address some of those standards.
I'm Hannah Vandy reporting for Take 30 News.
The pandemic caused students in the classroom to not be able to tour the dairy farm, so the calves were brought to the students. After the break, Miles Conrad is here with the latest in the sports world.
When you're the best, everyone wants to see what you'll do next. At Mississippi State University, our team of world-class rocket engineers is venturing beyond boundaries, building rockets like none before. We're launching a new era of space exploration. We've developed cutting-edge technology that's helping us build a rocket that can travel at 4 times the speed of sound. Fast? Yes. But more importantly, revolutionary. For you and for a space program that produces many of the conveniences we enjoy today. We're shaping your life in ways you never dreamed. What's next? Watch us and see.
Welcome back to Take 30 News. Mississippi State soccer is back as the Bulldogs kick off their season against the Auburn Tigers Friday. The Bulldogs have won 4 straight openers and look to make it a 5th. Today, Mississippi State soccer's Miranda Carrasco, Anya Echegini, Nia Johnson, and Andrea Tyrell have been named to the SEC soccer coaches preseason watch list. The game kicks off at 6 p.m. on the SEC network. Along with soccer, other sports are beginning to return to campus. The MSU football team is 1 week away from its opener when Coach Mike Leach and the Bulldogs travel to Death Valley to face off with the LSU Tigers. That game will be on CBS at 2:30 p.m. MSU Volleyball will open its fall with a 2-match series at home against Arkansas Saturday and Sunday, October 17th and 18th. Looking ahead to the spring, the Mississippi State baseball program and head coach Chris Lamonis have received the second top 25 ranking for the 2020 recruiting class, as collegiate baseball ranked the 22-person class number 11 nationally. The second week of the NFL kicked off last night with a 35-30 Browns victory over the Bengals. This is the first time Heisman winner Joe Burrow has lost 2 games in a row since his freshman year of high school. As we look from state to Sunday this week, 22 former Mississippi State Bulldogs are taking the field and 7 are playing in primetime games. The Bulldogs have 4 players in the NFL's top 100. Philadelphia Eagles Fletcher Cox and Darius Slay, the Dallas Cowboys Dak Prescott, and the Kansas City Chiefs Chris Jones. The Green Bay Packers lead all teams with 4 former Bulldogs. Well, rumors have been swirling around Jackson State University that primetime himself, Deion Sanders, could be their new head football coach. JSU officials are denying that Sanders is a candidate, and the issue may be because Deion Sanders is an Under Armour signee while JSU are Nike athletes. The 2-time Super Bowl champion and 8-time Pro Bowler brings a wealth of football knowledge to the Magnolia State Capitol. There's a scheduled press conference for Monday night to introduce the new coaching staff, so we may have to wait until then for the official announcement. We'll send it back to Elizabeth.
Well, that's all we have for Take 30 News. Thank you for watching. Good night.